Hello, welcome to Cracking the Cryptic, where today I thought we'd take a look at, I'll try and do a live solve of today's Times crossword. I do this with some trepidation actually because I've just looked at the times of the people who have finished the puzzle already, and Mark Goodliff took over 7 minutes on this puzzle, which means it's, I think, going to be pretty hard. But anyway, without further ado, let's see how I do. So part of mouth involved in a quiet falsetto. Something palate. No, don't know what that is. Ox that brings up young. No. Announced very full agreement. You're very full. Full agreement is a pact, P-A-C-T, and that sounds like the word pact, P-A-C-K-E-D. So very full would be packed, and that's a homophone, if you like, for the word P-A-C-T, which is the answer. A row or a row about meal taken regularly in drawing room. Okay, well, this is a bit of crosswordese here. A couple of ways of doing it. You can know a word for a drawing room beginning with A, 7 letters. And I happen to. It's atelier. And now you can see a tier, which is a row. A row is a tier, T-I-E-R. And that's surrounding the letters E and L. Now, if we look at the even numbered letters in the word meal, you can see they are the letters E and L. So you take regular letters from the word meal, put that inside the a row bit or a row bit, and that creates the answer. So a few ways of getting at that. Playtime, theme, pets to be groomed. Well, I'm thinking to be groomed here could be an anagram indicator. I need 10 letters. So time can be abbreviated to T. So then I need 9 letters. And theme and pets, that gives us 9 letters. So we're probably looking for a name of a play. Always think about your Shakespeare. That gives us The Tempest, which looks like it's right. Spell, to remember vividly, full of energy. Okay, well this will be a word which means a spell, or to spell. To remember vividly would be to evoke, I would imagine. Don't like that though, because energy is normally abbreviated to E, so I would need something that's a bit more. I need 6 letters. Come back to that. Daughter abandons dreadful passion. Well, D can be an abbreviation for daughter. If that leaves a 4-letter word for dreadful, which could be the word dire, we would get ire, which is passion. Announces journey. It starts from here. Well, to announce something could be to air it. So pluralise that, we get the word airs. Add a journey to that word. A journey is a trip, and we get airstrip, and that is somewhere a journey could start from. In ground speed test, overlapping title holders. One thing to bear in mind here, I don't know if it's relevant, the word ground in a crossword clue, always be aware that can be an anagram indicator, because if you grind something up, you would destroy it in a sense. So be on the lookout for that. Just flicking around here, trying to decide where to go next. Let's go 14 down. Appoint criminal to study prison. Marshalsea? No, don't know. Art of self-defense. Gives splendid child a rounded character. Okay, well, the type of self-defense is Aikido. Now, if you manage to think of Aikido, the clue becomes much easier because you can now see how it works. Splendid If something is A1, it's splendid. So you can see that's A1 here. And then kid is a child, and a rounded character is just a sort of reference to the letter O. It gives us a K in 2 down. Joint where gang takes in film. A joint. I should be able to get that. Gang could be a pack again, couldn't it? That would mean a 3-letter film. Oh, I don't know. Obstinacy, characteristic of animal farm. Something headedness. How about pig-headedness? That would certainly be obstinacy, wouldn't it? Pig-headedness. There we go. Part of mouth. That could be something palate still. Before university, acquire a coach. Well, there are loads of short words for coach. I really want this to end in A-E-U. Land, land. Let's try land instead. So if you acquire something, you land it, and then that is before, well, land A is before U for university, and Landau is a word for a coach. So again, I was helped a bit by thinking this might be palette. I'm going to sort of pencil this in. Prepare to run, go dog. If you prepare to run, you turn tail. If you have a turn in a game, that would be described as a go. You'd have a go. And if you tail someone, you dog them, you pursue them. So a few different synonyms involved there. What's this one? Commander with name badge attached in a particular shape. Something like nonagon or hexagon, I'd imagine. That's octagon. I can see that's got tag in the middle of it, which would be a name badge. Let's see if that justifies it some. Commander is an OC with name badge tag attached. If something's attached, it's on. So I think octagon is what's being acquired there. Soft palate, a quiet falsetto. Is that something's quiet? It's soft. I think that's what's being got at there. So this could be fetlock then. E.T. being the film. So E.T. has flock for gang around the outside of it. Ox that brings up young. Oh, why can't I get that? Normally quite good on my oxes, but no. Spell to remember vividly, full of energy. To remember vividly is to relive. That would give relieve. Relieve, a synonym for spell? I think it is in some sense, so I'm pretty confident that's right. Old Presbyterian binding witches to stake with a bit of rope. Good Lord. How about covenanter? That sounds like it's probably a word for an old Presbyterian. So how am I getting that? Well, witches, a group of witches would be a coven. A stake, in a betting sense, would be an ante. You would ante up something. A bit of rope. Well, when you see a bit of in a crossword clue, it normally means take the first letter of the next word. So let's put that in and we get this. So what's this then? Title holder. Lords something. In ground speed test. Overlapping title holders. Gosh. I have no idea what that is getting at. That's a bit worrying. Rock band, so bad, I must repeatedly interrupt. So bad. Oh, okay. How about an anagram of the words band and so, because they would be going bad in that sense, with 2 letter I's in the middle of it. So we're looking for a type of rock. Well, I can't see the answer, but I quite like the idea. Some not completed in crucial test. Some not completed. Gosh. Broken fragments presenting girl with no end of danger. Broken fragments would be shards. Debauched man saves money for habit. Routine. Yes. Okay, well, a couple of things to note here. Tin is a synonym for money, believe it or not. It's one of those things you just have to learn over the years. And a roue, R-O-U-E, is a word for a debauched man. And if you know, so I fully appreciate, if you're new to crosswords, you may look at those 2 synonyms and think, what are you talking about? And it's just pure practice. The more you do of these crosswords, the more these odd words recur, and you can sort of fit them into your memory bank. And once you have them, all of a sudden these clues become solvable. Habit obviously being routine. Watery liquid from height dropping into uprooted tree. Okay, well, height will be H. The whole thing, I think, will be a watery liquid. And I'm going to have to reverse a 3-letter tree. And the problem with that is there are a lot of 3-letter trees. So I'm not thinking of the right one at the moment. Let's have a look at this. Dull like a mountain lake. Well, again, if you know that a mountain lake is called a tarn, T-A-R-N, and if something was cryptically like a mountain lake, you might describe it as tarnish. And of course, if you tarnish something, you dull it. So, nice clue. Amateur work involves quieter, spirited works. Spirited works, that makes me think it's some sort of, I don't know, exorcisms or something like that. Something to do with ghosts. Hurry away and keep busy. Hurry away. Beat it. Be at it. Yes. Okay, if you beat it, you hurry away. And keep busy, you be at it. Very clever. Very clever clue. Where's kit adapted? Oh, that's probably an anagram. That gives us 8 letters. One way to follow a boat. I'm wondering now whether I've misunderstood how that's going to work. Water ski, of course. It's quite an odd looking anagram, but yes, eventually I worked it out. So what's this, 11 something? Some not completed in crucial test. 11 plus. I think what this is saying is that if you were to write down a sum, you would put 11 plus 3 or something like that. So it's suggesting that there's a missing term from the sum here. And I think that's what this clue is sort of hinting at. So Lord title holder. Lord Taverners is what I keep thinking of. Amateur work involves quieter, spirited works. I should be able to do that. I'm so stupid. Girl fills reverse of dry. Forms. Okay, well, if you know your wine, you'll know the word sec, S-E-C, which can mean dry. And we need a reverse of dry, which would be that. And we need to put a 4-letter word for a girl in the middle, because the girl is filling the reversal of our word for dry. Well, a very common crossword word for a girl is a lass. So put those together, you get classes, and classes are certainly forms. A little information should come back shortly. A little information. What could that be? A megabyte or a gigabyte? Shortly. Ah, what about tad? So tad would be a little of something. You'd describe that as a tad of it. And that is a shortened version of the word data. Data is information, reversed. So that's another nice solve. Love to drill through card to find pistol. Love to drill. Well, I would imagine all this is saying is put an O, as in a tennis score of love would be a 0. So I want to put an O in something here. A word for a card. That's going to give me a pistol. Sidearm. But you can see that has no 0 in it, so why do I think this is right? Love could be dear, couldn't it? You know, if you described someone, oh, she's my love, she would be my dear. So that's drilling through a SIM card. Great. Oh, that looks good. So what's this? Obsidian. That's going to work with my anagram. That's a type of rock. Appoint criminal to study prison. Appoint criminal. Is this an anagram of appoint plus con for a criminal? And that would... Is this possible? There's too many. There's a lot of P's I need to put in there. Panopticon. Well, well, well. Wow. Wasn't expecting that. I think that is the answer. So an anagram of a point plus, if you study something, you con it. Another of those bits of crosswordese that you just have to learn over time. Dead queen ignored by count. Dead. How can this be anything other than name? Dead queen. Oh, goodness me. Sorry about this. Ah, something's dead. It's numb. Okay, so it's numb with... So it's ER for Elizabeth Regina. Again, a very common piece of crosswordese. If you see queen, you should immediately think ER. And we're removing ER from the word number, which is count. So we're getting there slowly. Right. Looked at all of these before. This still looks like shards, doesn't it? Why is it shards? Presenting girl with no end of danger. If that was an H, that would be an H here. Law, something shepherd. Title holders. In-ground speed test, overlapping title holders. Oh, a ground could be Lords then. Okay, so it's a cricket ground. Speed test. So maybe it's a word for speed here. Speed test overlapping. Title holders. Lords. I know some of you are probably shouting at your screen here at my ignorance. Speed. Golly, I keep wanting to put MPH in the middle of this. It just won't work. Amateur work involves quieter, spirited works. S, I might be wrong to assume that, because quieter could be stiller. I could put stiller in the middle of this. Amateur work. Distillery? Spirited works. Ah, wow. Amateur works, DIY. Oh, that is very hard, but very clever. So amateur work is DIY, and that involves, it contains within it a 7-letter word for quieter, which is stiller, and then spirited works for distillery. Very nice clue. Watery liquid, that's going to be whey then, isn't it? The yew was the tree. I certainly didn't think of that. So Lord's Temporal. Is this the answer to that? Speed, tempo, test, oral, overlapping. Oh, see, so tempo and oral we're double using the O there, that's why they're overlapping. See, the in there is a bit hard, because I was thinking we need to put something in the ground, being lords, and that would seem to go along with the fact that title holders is plural, but of course we could just say, you know, in creating the title holders, this is how we would do it. So I think that's what's going on. I'm quite pleased to see that Shards was wrong, because I couldn't see how that worked. So presenting girl with no end of danger. Broken fragments are girl with no end of danger. No end of danger will be risk without the end. Debris, gosh, that's difficult as well. So a girl is Deb. I think that's in. It's either as in debutante, as in a debutante as a ball, or sometimes I suppose it could just be Deborah, shortened form of Deborah. So debris for broken fragments. And finally, we've got our ox up here. Ox that brings up young. An ox. So it's going to be a shortened word for a word for, you know, animal young, like pups. It's going to be reversing. The whole thing will be the name of an ox, and I should be able to solve it. I suppose that assumes soft palate is right, but I think it will be. So ox. Stopped. Yeah. Is an ox? I like that. I think that is the name of an animal. I just can't remember which one, so I'm going to go with that. Pregnant pause. Oh, that was just that's just a typo. I hope I did say temporal, and I was talking about tempo, but somehow managed to put an R there apparently. So apologies for the typo, but I hope that there was something for all of you who are relatively new to the Times crossword there. I'll just do a couple of checks of the dictionary just to talk about those clues that we weren't quite sure about. So here we go, we've got stot here, which is a dialectic word for a bullock or a steer. So I'll forgive myself for being slightly slow in coming up with the reversal of tots there. Let's just have a look at covenanter, just to prove that that is a word. Here we go. A person who signed or adhered to the Scottish National Covenant. Wow, I mean, that is not easy. Just looking at the grid here, I can certainly see why this could have held people up. It's just, you know, if you're not familiar with landau, a horse-drawn carriage there, even panopticon, I mean, that's not a word you see every day. There we go. A prison in which all prisoners can be watched from one point. Lovely word. Let's just check there were no others. Oh, I'll check relieve in a moment as well. Oh, and of course, I've just noticed now, a quiet falsetto. Quiet can be abbreviated to P in music, as in piano or pianissimo. Blah, pianissimo. So an anagram of A, P and falsetto is soft palate, which was how that was working. So I misled you slightly on that one. Let's just check relieve. So we're looking for this to be meaning the word spell in some sense. To release from duty. nucleus there. Let's have a look at spell instead. A spell has a few meanings, so I suppose to relate. Yeah, there we go. To relieve. It's actually listed. So it is clearly a synonym. So there we go. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy the channel. I know we tend to do a lot of Sudoku now. Those videos are very popular, but we should stick to our knitting occasionally. And yeah, I hope you enjoy the content. Please subscribe if you do. See you again next time. I'm cracking the cryptic.